To a new twist in Victoria's deadly mushroom mystery. Police are testing a food dehydrator as it emerges that the ex-husband of the woman who cooked the fatal meal almost died last year. Live to Nathan Curry in Melbourne. Nathan, he came down with a mystery gut illness.
Yeah, he did, Nat. Simon Patterson posted on Facebook last winter. He jumped up on the social media app to thank everyone for their support as he battled that illness. I'll read you now some of what he said. He said, "I collapsed at home, then was in an induced coma for 16 days, through which I had 3 emergency operations, mainly on my small intestine, plus an additional planned operation. My family were asked to come and say goodbye to me twice as I was not expected to live. I was in intensive care for 21 days, after which I was in the general ward for a week." Now, he's since got out and made a full recovery, but he has separated with Erin, and it's his parents that have died after eating the mushrooms. Nat, you mentioned the dehydrator. That was found in a Gippsland tip. Police are now testing to see if it is linked to Erin's home. The sole survivor of the 4 that ate those mushrooms is still fighting for his life here at the Austin Hospital.
Thank you, Nathan. Here's Chevo.
Thanks, Nat. Hundreds of patrons were forced to flee an iconic cabaret restaurant on the Gold Coast overnight after a fire broke out. Live to Tamra Bow at Dracula's. Tamra, it's supposed to be a horror-themed restaurant, but this was a very scary night.
Yes, Chevo, anyone who's been to a Dracula show can probably tell you it's full of smoke, it's full of chaos. So for a lot of people inside, they probably thought this was just part of it. It was around 9 o'clock last night. They were midway through that cabaret show and dinner when a fire broke out at the back of the building. It began filling with smoke. The alarms were going off. More than 200 people needed to be evacuated, left standing in the car park until emergency services arrived. At least 4 people needed to be treated for smoke inhalation. Fireys say it was out quite quickly, no real structural damage. It looks as though it started in some electrical gear that was piled out the back, and they're still trying to determine exactly how it did start. But look, 200 people left on the sidewalk say they knew they were in good hands. Emergency services arrived quite quickly.
All patrons were evacuated promptly. Lots of fire alarms sounded. The staff here did an excellent job in getting everyone to safety and allowed the fire service to do their job.
And Chevo, Dracula's, it's iconic, it's quintessential Gold Coast. It's been here since the 80s, Australia's longest running cabaret show. And I, for one, am just glad it's still standing this morning.
Yeah, without a doubt, many are. Thank you, Tamra. You can just imagine it now, the evacuation. 1, 2, 3 at a time.
Exactly. Let's get more news now. Here's Eddie.
Thank you so much. First is some breaking news. A 13-year-old boy has been arrested and 2 passengers are on the run after a car flipped during a police pursuit in Sydney's west. Officers tried to stop the Volkswagen on the Horsley Drive at Fairfield at 2:30 this morning when they say it failed to stop. It crashed and rolled a short time later, becoming perched on its side against a concrete wall. The boy who was behind the wheel has been taken into custody, but 2 passengers fled the scene. The sister of a woman who lost her husband and all 5 sons in Queensland's deadly house fire has shared some heartbreaking new details about the tragedy. Let's go live to Georgie Chumley on Russell Island this morning. Georgie, she was there for those final harrowing moments.
Good morning, Eddie. Connie Campbell has recounted the heartbreaking moments that she last saw her brother-in-law, Wayne Godinet, carrying her 3 youngest nephews, trying to get them out of this blaze here on Russell Island. Connie says that she was trying to find the 2 eldest boys, but became trapped on a balcony. She was then forced to jump from that balcony to safety. Police are still combing through the crime scene and the wreckage of this house to try and find any trace or any evidence as to how this fire started. We have spoken to the mother, Samantha Stevenson. She, at this stage, understandably, is too distraught to speak publicly, but she has wanted to pass on a message to thank the community of Russell Island, who she says have been so supportive during the most difficult days of her life. Eddie?
Thank you, Georgie. The ACT's outgoing Chief Prosecutor will soon be unable to practice as a barrister. The Territory's Bar Association has confirmed Shane Drumgold will no longer hold a practising certificate from September 1, the date his resignation takes effect. Drumgold resigned as the DPP following damning findings about his conduct during Bruce Lehrmann's trial over the alleged rape of Brittany Higgins. Millions of homeowners across the country are facing huge council rate rises, with high inflation pushing rates up by almost 100% in some areas. New South Wales has seen the biggest leap, with some councils having their 6% caps increased. Rates in Strathfield jumping from $580 to over $1,000. While in Victoria, an expert revealed councils waive fewer debts than any bank or financial institution. Local and federal politicians are calling for federal stimulus to help maintain local infrastructure. Well, the Melbourne Royal Show is loved by generations young and old. It's where country meets the city, drawing in up to 500,000 people each year. Tegan Dolling has been given a sneak peek behind the scenes this morning. Tegan, what's in store for the crowds this year?
Good morning, Eddie. Can you believe only 43 days until the Melbourne Royal Show this year? I'm down here with all of my friends. We have Barney and Mootilda and Bambi's here as well at Darrell's Animal Farm. A wonderful morning. There's a lot to do this year at the show, and can you believe actually 20% more things to do in terms of agriculture and animals at the show than ever before. And I have Darren here with me from the show. Come on in, Darren. A lot to do here in terms of animals and agriculture this year.
Yeah, just a little bit. Look, I have over 7,000 animals on the site over the 11 days of the show. Fantastic opportunity to get up close with animals, some young ones, small ones. What we've got here is kind of like the Animal Nursery, which is a fantastic feature of the Melbourne Show, and it's going to be right at the heart of the show this year.
And a lot of competitions to do with animals too, which I love to come and look at.
We've got everything. We've got beef, cattle, sheep, alpacas, poultry, and the dogs. And also the horse event. So we've got a fantastic range of opportunities for people competing for a coveted blue ribbon at the Melbourne Show this year.
I must admit though, Eddie, my favourite thing to do at the show is definitely to get up close and personal. And apparently it's the wattle. Do you guys want some of this? Hello. Yeah. Oh, we love a little bit of breakfast early in the morning, don't we, guys? Yeah.
They'll eat anything, those goats. Thank you so much for that, Tegan. Can't wait for you to show us around this morning.